All right, I just want to do kind of a quick one here. I was checking out the Venice Film Festival, see if there is anything good there. It's on right now while I'm recording this, and there's some stuff, but I saw something that I didn't even know about, and I'm super excited about it. And what's that? It's the Kingdom Exodus, the part three of the Lars von Trier TV series he created in the 90s in Denmark. Denmark. So I thought, well, since they're going to be releasing this third season pretty soon, maybe I'll get ahead of it and I'll give you guys a little bit of a background on seasons one and two and what you can expect sort of in season three, what kind of a thing you're getting into. And then hopefully you'll go and watch because I absolutely love the Kingdom, or in Danish it's called RIGET. RIGET. So maybe I'll just start off talking a little bit about Lars von Trier. I mean, everybody knows who he is, and honestly, I don't think I've ever met anyone who's really into cinema, or anybody really who's seen his movies, who says I love everything about any Lars von Trier movie. I'd say, Dogville is probably as good as it gets, or Melancholia maybe, but there's always something about it, and there's his movies are controversial and kind of pretentious and stuff like that, and there's you can nitpick any Lars von Trier movie. Right? I don't know how many really true fans he has, but I will say that The Kingdom could be my favorite thing by Lars von Trier. It's 10 episodes. Wait a minute. 8 episodes have been made so far. So 2 series with 4 episodes each, right? And then the new one coming up. But what is it, right? So The Kingdom, or RIGET, is Lars von Trier's answer to Twin Peaks. So, I think he even says he drew inspiration from Twin Peaks. Not so much in what it's about, but just the whole sort of like taking conventional TV at the time, right? Flipping it, right? With this, and making it funny and making it weird and making it very compelling to watch. And although the budget for The Kingdom, at least seasons one and two, were just almost non-existent. I mean, when you watch it, it's a little tricky to find, but it's out there. When you watch it, you'll see what I mean. It's filmed on I don't even think a professional grade camera. So it's got low production values, but it's a great, great, great TV show. Simply from the acting and the writing and just the bizarre concept of it, right? So much like Twin Peaks. So Twin Peaks was sort of a parody of primetime soap operas. I think that's what David Lynch was kind of going for there. One of the things he was trying to go for. So making fun of these sort of like, primetime drama serials that were very popular at the time. And The Kingdom takes on something else. It's making fun of the popular procedural dramas of the time. And specifically, I think, ER, right? So The Kingdom's set in a hospital, right? Denmark's biggest and most technologically advanced hospital. And I laugh when I say it because when you see the thing, just because of the budget, I mean, you're kind of going, what? Right? And much like Twin Peaks, it's got supernatural elements. There's some spooky stuff going on. But with The Kingdom, they just come right out and say it's ghosts. There's ghosts. There's ghosts in the hospital. Okay? So that's really what it's about. It's about a haunted hospital full of complete, incompetent, arrogant morons. It's great. it's definitely the funniest thing he's ever made. And it's funny, like not even like funny for a Lars von Trier kind of funny, but it's just funny, right? And I guess maybe some of that humor, it's kind of strange. Like some of the humor may not translate from, because this is a Danish TV show. Some of the humor may not translate from Danish to American or Canadian, which, where I am. But I think that actually makes it funnier because part of it is an ongoing sort of way that Swedish people look down on Danish people. Imagine if you're in Scandinavia, that's hilarious, right? That they're pointing that out, or maybe it's just boring. But to me, it's funny, right? Because, I hate to say it, I can't tell them apart. I kind of thought they were the same thing. I thought they spoke the same language. I didn't know there was Swedish and Danish were two different languages. I thought it was just broadly Scandinavia. I thought they all understood each other. Weren't they all Vikings at one time? Anywho, there's lots of great humor in it. And I'm not going to spoil this one too much, except maybe right at the very end. But I am going to just talk a little bit about the plot lines of this, hospital drama. Okay? Excuse me. I got them written down here. So, first off, the acting's great, but you're not going to get me to even try to pronounce these actors' names. I just couldn't do it. It's too difficult. So what I'll do is I'll say the character name, and then in a little text box, I'll type in their actual name, and then you can pronounce it any way you like, right? Just go ape. So I'm just going to give you sort of some things about the characters and their plot lines through the first two seasons. And I'll kind of let you see if that piques your interest, because I really think you should see this series, if at all possible. I'm not sure where it is, where you can watch it, but it's like I said before, it's out there. I think it's coming to Mubi. Like the new season is coming to Mubi.com or whatever. And maybe they're going to put the old ones there. Or maybe it's on, I don't really know. I had the DVDs. But anywho, let's go into some of the plot lines. So one of the, it takes place primarily in the neurosurgery ward at the RIGET hospital, right? The Kingdom, which they call the Kingdom, okay? And I guess who we could call our main character is Stig Helmer, Dr. Helmer, right? And he's played, and I'll put his name down there, right? He's a neurosurgeon who was kind of exiled from Sweden because he was a plagiarist. He stole other people's research and claimed it as his own. And I guess as a punishment, they sent him to Denmark, right? So he's this Swedish guy. He's over the top, hilarious dude, great acting, right? And he despises everything Danish. He hates Denmark, right? And he loves Sweden.
Här, Danmark, utskitet av kalk och vatten. Och det här, Sverige, hugget i granit. Dansk jävlar. Dansk jävlar!
So every episode starts at the beginning of the day, right? With Dr. Helmer arriving to work. And this is one of the ongoing things. This is one of Dr. Helmer's, Stig, one of his big issues in the show is he wants to get a parking space. He can't get a parking space. He's new and he's very upset about this, right? And I mean, little, these aren't spoilers. These are things you can look forward to. And he so distrusts the Danish youth that are kind of hanging around the hospital. And every time he parks his Volvo, of course, right, he goes around and takes all the hubcaps off and then carries them with him to work because he thinks these kids are going to steal them, right? So, and it goes on and on. Now, so basically the formula is for the show, so there's 8 episodes. Each day is a new episode, which really messes with your head at a certain point because you start to realize there's no way only a day is passed, right? But they don't. Lars von Trier just doesn't care, right? He doesn't care. So Stig, Dr. Helmer, he's got issues with parking, right? His big quest is to get a... Hey, it's an ambulance. It fits in. I'll leave it in. Leave it in. Leave the ambulance in. One of his big quests is to get a parking spot. And the other thing that he's trying to do is cover up a botched surgery. He's a brain surgeon, right? Cover up a botched surgery, which left a little girl in a pretty much a vegetative state, right? So he wants to really cover this up, and he goes to great lengths to, machinations to hide the reports and this and that, right? He's not very good at it. None of these people are don't come off as particularly intelligent. They seem insane for the most part. I mean, it really sort of flips the bird to brain surgeons, right? I think it's brilliant, right? Because we always think brain surgeons, but these guys are just arrogant morons, right? Who just politically got to where they are. So that's his big thing. Cover up a botched surgery and get a parking space. Get a proper doctor's parking space, right? Oh, by the way, the show's in Danish, and I guess Swedish. Dr. Helmer talks Swedish, but it all sounds the same to me, but it's got good subtitles, fortunately. The next arguably the main character, is a woman named Sigrid Druss. That's the character's name. Okay. And she's a spiritualist. That's really what she is. She communes with ghosts and the afterlife, and she just keeps going to the hospital all the time for various things. So she's got a pain in her wrist or something. She's in the neurosurgery ward, and she hears the ghost of a dead girl in the elevator, right? And her main thing is to find out. I guess she is. She's sort of like, everyone says, the Miss Marple of the thing. She's going to solve the mystery, right? Of the voices that we're guessing are in the elevator, not just in her head. So then there's her, right? And she's got a son who works at the hospital. Everyone's at this hospital, right? It's a gigantic hospital. You see it in a lot of shots. Okay? And that's really her thing, right? And the fun is kind of getting through it. Another character is Dr. Bondi. Dr. Bondi is a pathologist. And he's also sort of the main teacher of the medical students, right? Which, makes sense. I think that's kind of how it works, right? The lecturer, right? And his big thing is they operated on, there's a fellow there who's got this hepatocarcinoma, a cancerous liver, and it's so big. And the pathologist wants it for his collection because the people in Brussels have the largest cancerous hepatoma or whatever in the world, and they're always bragging and showing it off. So he wants to have it. And the lengths he goes to get this specimen, I won't say what it is, because when you see what the lengths he goes to, you'll just be going, this man is insane, right? I'll leave it at that. Trust me, it's good. It's good. And maybe the head of the head of neurosurgery is a dude named Einar Mosgaard, right? He's the head. And he's kind of my favorite character because he's the head of the department who just completely unravels, right? And doesn't not go insane, but he just loses all confidence. Like loses all confidence in himself. The joke is, the very opening of the series, he's showing Dr. Stig, who's just arriving, this thing, and he plops down on his, in front of him, and it's called Operation, what is it called? Morning Air. Operation Morning Air, right? Which was his plan that he developed so that they would meet every morning and air everything out and be open and transparent and all this stuff. And then as it goes on, right, you realize the joke much later on. Maybe I'll spoil this one because it's something you may not get, but getting near the end, he has a meeting with everybody and I'm laughing just thinking about it. He has a meeting with all the doctors and he's like, oh, so-and-so died. But like, let's just not talk about that. And then so-and-so, maybe there's some ghosts in the building, but it's for now, let's just not tell the press about it. And he has this list, all this list of stuff. He's just telling everyone, like, don't talk about it. Let's ignore this. So Operation Morning Air just becomes a complete failure. At the same time, he's personally losing it. And he ends up going to this, who he thinks is a psychologist or a psychotherapist, but it's just some wacko who's like rebirthing him, banging drums and doing all this weird stuff, and he just totally buys into it. And he just kind of gets worse and worse. And the other joke to that, which you'll figure out, but he's got a son who's a medical student, and his son is always bragging about, how the Mossguard men always, they're go-getters and they just take what they want and blah, blah, blah. He's doing all this stuff. Meanwhile, his dad is just collapsing, just unraveling, right? It's funny. That's very funny. Who else do we got? We got a Dr. Judith Peterson. And what can I say about her without giving too much away? Let's just say she gets pregnant. And I'll save it for the end. She gets pregnant. Okay, and has a baby, right, within the first season. Now remember, each episode is 1 day apart, right? That seems a little weird, doesn't it? And I'll show you the baby at the end because I don't want to spoil it because it's great. He's played. I wouldn't even say who plays him. Oof. And then who else do we have? We have the other, main character. It's a guy named Hook. I can't pronounce his last name. And he's like the rebel doctor. Yeah, he lives in the basement and he's a black marketeer and he's vaporizing out the cocaine out of eye drops and selling it and just, whatever. He's got this operation going. And he's at war with Stig Helmer, right? Because he has the information that Helmer wants about the botched surgery, right? And really, it comes down to, and you see this right at the beginning, you'll notice what happens is the spiritualist lady comes in and she's having these weird pains, paresthesis, right? Numbness and tingling. So he gives her a CAT scan, right? Now, he's not allowed to order a CAT scan because he's a junior doctor, right? Only the chief doctor, Dr. Helmer, can order a CAT scan, right? And Helmer loses it, right? He does not like his authority in any way challenged like this. So that's when the battle begins. And I think we're going to do a little bit of spoilery stuff here because I do want to say what happens between Helmer and Hook. Helmer meets a Haitian dude who works at the hospital who tells him about voodoo. I'm laughing thinking about this. Tells him about voodoo back in Haiti. And in one episode, right? Helmer and this guy go to Haiti, get the voodoo dust or medicine, fly back, and poison Hook with the voodoo zombie stuff. And it kills him. It kills Hook. But he comes back to life. And but he comes back to life as this bizarre, like, Nazi fascist. Like, he's just talking about all the money we waste on all these people who will just never get you. Like, he's like, we need to just exterminate them all. And like, this comes out of nowhere. He's the good guy at the beginning, and then at the end, because he's had the zombification. It's just freaking mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Twin Peaks didn't have anything like that. I'll even go to say, for 2 seasons. Okay, there's a lot more episodes of Twin Peaks, obviously, right? The first 2 seasons. Third season of Twin Peaks was my favorite, right? Second season, right? First season was good, but I never really got into it that much. But this one, you're hooked. Couple episodes in, you're hooked. You're like, what the fuck, man? Where is this going? Right? It's so weird. This thing here, why did I leave my icons up? This thing here is a big part of the movie. Not going to spoil it. What else? So, yeah, that's kind of it. Now, I'm going to talk about Exodus. So now at the Venice Film Festival, they're doing the Kingdom Exodus, the third part, right? The third season, the long-awaited third season of the Kingdom, which has to be another joke, right? By Lars von Trier, who's actually, he should have made more comedies like this. Like The Idiots, I guess, was trying to be a comedy, but it sucked, right? This is funny. Anywho, I guess he's just parroting David Lynch again by bringing back a TV show from the 90s for a third season, right? And even going as far as calling it, remember, he's calling it the Kingdom Exodus, right? Where it was Twin Peaks, The Return, right? So it's the opposite, right? Exodus and Return, right? That's pretty apparent. So I saw a trailer. Maybe I'll probably have already cut in some clips of the trailer, or maybe I will cut in some clips of the trailer. But it looks better, right? Obviously, the technology has come a long ways. The original does not look very good at all, right? This is just right in after the Dogma thing with the handhelds and stuff, right? This is before Dancer in the Dark, right? Where he would, use a tripod or something on his camera. And so it looks really good. Yes, go watch the trailer somewhere. You don't need me to show you a trailer. And I'm looking forward to it. It's coming up on Mubi after it premieres at Venice and then at the Toronto Film Festival. Unlike, last year, you can't watch the movies online. Last year, you could be a virtual attendee, right? Because of COVID, right? It's one of the things I hate about the lockdowns. That was great. It was great just to be able to watch the film festival stuff at home and not have to go to Venice, right? Which is nice, but it's kind of far away. So I don't think you can watch it anywhere until it comes out on Mubi. I don't have a Mubi subscription, right? I guess I'll be getting one because I will definitely be reviewing Season 3 or Exodus, the Kingdom Exodus. But I just think everyone should get out there. Get up. No, stay seated and go on your computer and try to find the Kingdom. I think it's 1995 and 1997 they were released. 94 and 97. So a lot of the original cast has, died. So the new ones with the whole new cast. And I suspect I've heard a little bit about. I started reading because people have seen it. Obviously, it's been premiered. I started reading, and then I was like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know where this is going. Right? This is one you want to just go into blind. That's why I didn't really get too into the plot and stuff like that, because I just wanted to let you know how kind of weird it is, and you should get out there and watch it, because I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Is it art? It's pretty far from art. And I just wanted to show you, now comes the spoiler thing, right? I'm just going to be showing an image or a little clip of something that happens in the movie. It just comes out of nowhere. And it was one of those things where my brain just broke. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Okay. So just to set it up, remember I told you about the woman who got pregnant and within 4 days delivered a kid, right? This is the kid, who's played by Udo Kier, by the way. Okay, so look away if you haven't seen it, and then I'll tell you when to look back.
Hej, mor. Jeg glæder mig sådan til at blive rigtig rask, så vi kan være sammen.
So that's it. Look forward to season 3. Go watch the old one. There's something else I wanted to say, but I forgot. Such is life. Good night. Thanks for watching this dead channel. Off.
I'm from Denmark. I'm not from America. No America.